Saskatoon. We are getting ready for the 87th anniversary of Saskatoon's Remembrance Day service. Good day, I'm David Curtin, and welcome to Shaw TV's coverage of the 87th anniversary. Of course, when the bells ring at 11 a.m. this morning, it will have been exactly 100 years since the end of World War I, when armistice was declared. Already across Canada today, there have been thousands upon thousands of people who have been choosing to take part and participate in Remembrance Day ceremonies. Crowds of people filled the square at Halifax's Grand Parade, where they marked the 100 years since the signing of the armistice. And as the clock struck in Halifax, as the clock struck 11 a.m., the gun on nearby Citadel Hill fired the first of 22 shots. The somber crowd stood in near silence as it reflected on the battles that ended a century ago. And of course, those that have come since then. The Halifax gathering, of course, one of the many across the country, including the national ceremony in Ottawa, which was attended by Defense Minister Harjit Sajjan as he is in place of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau today. Trudeau is spending Remembrance Day weekend in France, where he attended Armistice Day ceremonies in Paris today, marking the end of the war to end all wars. Back in Ottawa, Governor General Julie Payette attended the national ceremony alongside Jen, who, after returning from Belgium, where she attended some additional commemorative events. What's going to happen tonight in Ottawa, though, is interesting. Andrea McCready will play the bells in Parliament Hill at sunset as part of an initiative organized by the Royal Canadian Legion. Bells will ring out as night falls in one place after another across the country, including at city halls and places of worship, on military bases and ships, and at ceremonies to honor veterans who served during the First World War. So we are going to see recognition of the service of our military veterans, not just during a ceremony in one place today across Canada, but throughout the day in many local communities and, of course, in many churches, in city halls, and certainly at the cenotaphs. As the crowd has been coming in to the facility today, they have been listening to the music that's been provided by the Salvation Army Band, led by Vienna Sawatsky, the conductor, the Saskatoon Community Concert Band, led by conductor Doug Gilmore, the Saskatoon Concert Band, with two conductors, co-conductors, Nicholas Todds and George Carpentier. And of course, you are going to see amazing workmanship and musicianship when you see the parade in just a few moments' time. Thanks to the North Saskatchewan Regiment Pipes and Drums, Jarvis Bay Sea Cadet Band, the 96 Highlanders Pipes and Drums, St. John Ambulance, also out here today. You will see many, and of course, you will see the crowd get into the service, especially when it is time to bring on the old guard. And so there's been much organization leading towards today. In just a few moments' time, we will see the Cenotaph Guard under Sergeant Michael Wong will march out in just a few moments' time. And the Cenotaph Guard will surround the cenotaph that you see right now on your screen. And after that, we will see the first VIPs escorted to their chairs. The VIPs today, the Honourable Kevin Waugh, representing the Government of Canada. Premier Scott Moe is representing the Government of Saskatchewan and is in Saskatoon today. And then, of course, representing the City of Saskatoon, Mayor Charlie Clark.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, the Cenotaph Guard is being marched on.
We see the Cenotaph Guard coming on now under the leadership of Sergeant Wong, who was born in Saskatoon and joined the military in 2003 as part of the North Saskatchewan Regiment. Sergeant Wong has been deployed to Afghanistan also part of the Arctic Response Company group, who train in the Arctic to maintain Canada's operational readiness and sovereignty. This, by the way, is Sergeant Wong's second time as a Cenotaph Guard commander. Sergeant Michael Wong, the Cenotaph Guard commander. The Cenotaph Guard themselves include Corporal Jace Ryan, who has been part of the North Saskatchewan Regiment since 2015. This will be Corporal Ryan's first time, though, as a Cenotaph Guard. Representing the Navy is Master Seaman Brian Haw. Master Seaman Haw has served as a member of the Royal Canadian Navy for over 20 years. And in July of this year, he joined the HMCS Unicorn Naval Reserve after moving here to Saskatoon from the West Coast. Master Seaman Haw has done 3 deployments aboard HMC ships to the Persian Gulf. This, too, is his first time as a Cenotaph Guard. Also, as part of the Cenotaph Guard is Corporal Amanda Bulmer, who joined the RCAF 5 years ago. She is posted to Detachment Dundurn as a supply technician. But this is Corporal Bulmer's 4th time as a Cenotaph Guard. And then, of course, Constable Dan Keeling, born and raised in Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. He represents the RCMP and has been with the RCMP for 5 years, serving primarily in northern Saskatchewan. He is now currently posted to the Serious and Organized Crime Unit in Saskatoon. This is his first time doing Cenotaph Guard duties. Now, as we see coming out onto the floor, is a parade chief, a regimental sergeant major of the North Saskatchewan Regiment, Ramsey Blyle, who will call for the markers in just a few moments.
Remembrance Day Parade, markers!
And here come the markers now, out onto the floor. Very quick hush over the crowd as the parade has begun. The markers, of course, help determine the direction that the parade takes.
From the front, number 1, stand fast, remainder 8 bound, turn. Number 1, stand fast, remainder take, post. Number 1, stand fast, remainder 8 bound, turn. Markers, steady.
This time we welcome the VIPs to their seats.
As the markers are in place now, the VIPs, Honorable Kevin Waugh, Premier Scott Moe, Mayor Charlie Clark, will be escorted to their seats.
Representing the Government of Saskatchewan, Premier Scott Moe, and representing the City of Saskatoon, Mayor Charlie Clark.
Every year, of course, the Lieutenant Governor of Saskatchewan trades between attending the service in Saskatoon and attending the service in Regina. This year, Lieutenant Governor Tom Malloy is in Regina. So now that the 4 markers are in place, Parade Chief Ramsey Balal has called for the cadets and service groups to be marched on, and they're being led, as you can see, by the Saskatoon Tri-Services Cadet Band. Now, the first group coming out right now behind the Tri-Services Cadet Band.
Our first row consists of 702 LYNX Royal Canadian Air Cadet Squadron.
You see behind the band of the 702 LYNX Royal Canadian Air Cadet Squadron, WEIR Navy League. These are the young cadets. Many times people will look at the young cadets and then they will look at the old guard later on, and maybe they'll see a frail man who may be in his late 80s. But it is these young cadets that these people basically were when they went to war. These were the young faces that you see in the photographs from those wars. And these cadets coming on right now. 702 LYNX, Royal Canadian Air Cadet Squadron, WEIR Navy League. Also the 45 Jarvis Bay Royal Canadian Sea Cadet Corps. The 328 Royal Canadian Army Medical Cadet Corps. 2293 North Saskatchewan Regiment Army Cadet Corps. 3071 North Saskatchewan Regiment Army Cadet Corps. And the 107 Spitfire Royal Canadian Air Cadets. Also out there are the Saskatoon and District Freemasons, the Saskatoon Shriners, and the Knights of Columbus. Many service organizations that participate in the Saskatoon service. And so there are 3 rows when this new guard, as we call it, are brought out. Coming out now on the 3rd row, you will see the RCMP. And right behind the RCMP, in their suits, you see the Federal Correctional Service.
Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
Following them is the Provincial Correctional Services.
Provincial Correctional Services.
And of course we see the Saskatoon Police Service coming out along with the Saskatoon Fire Department. And our paramedics, the Menifee Health Services West.
2018 Remembrance Day Parade, New Guard, ball!
So when the cadets and the service groups and the police units are all in position, Parade Chief Ramsey Balal is going to call for the marching on of the New Guard, led by the Saskatoon Tri-Services Cadet Band. The New Guard, of course, the current serving Canadian Forces units, which have taken over from the old guard in defense of Canada. And they consist of HMCS Unicorn, the North Saskatchewan Regiment, and the 38th Service Battalion, joined by 16 Field Ambulance. So when the cadets and the service groups are all in position, the New Guard will be called on. Once again, being led by the Saskatoon Tri-Services Cadet Band.
Once again, led by the
Once the new guard is in place, Parade Chief Belisle will then turn the parade over to Deputy Parade Commander Major Brendan Clancy. Major Brendan Clancy's job will be to fall in the officers for each of these units. We now see Deputy Parade Commander Major Brendan Clancy marching onto the floor.
Falls in the officers.
Parade Chief Ramsey Belisle. In his position as Major Clancy gets ready to fall in the officers.
March on the officers!
Officers now marching on to the floor. And once the officers are in place, Major Clancy's duties are over. Major Clancy will turn the parade over to the parade commander, Lieutenant Colonel Thomas MYKYTIUK of the North Saskatchewan Regiment. We now see Lieutenant Colonel Thomas MYKYTIUK marching onto the floor. He of the North Saskatchewan Regiment. He will take over the parade in just a few moments' time, and it will be Lieutenant Colonel Thomas MYKYTIUK who will march on the old guard. And this is when the crowd will get very emotional and very into it, as the old guard will be led on by the North Saskatchewan Regiment Pipes and Drums under Pipe Major Craig Shaw. Here we go as the old guard is ready to march onto the floor. And the crowd stands automatically as the old guard is marched onto the floor. There's a bit of bittersweetness with the North Saskatchewan Regiment Pipes and Drums this year. Under Pipe Major Craig Shirley for many, many, many years here. North Saskatchewan Pipes and Drums were led on by Pipe Major Don McDonald, who passed away about a month ago. Don McDonald was also the chair of the organizing committee for this service for all of those years too. Now we see the old guard come on. Old guard, of course, the veterans who have served our country, Afghan veterans, Korean veterans, RCMP Old Guard, World War II veterans as well.
World War II veterans, Korean veterans, Afghanistan veterans, and members of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
And as they get the old guard into place, we will soon see an amazing example of very intricate marching when Lieutenant Colonel MYKYTIUK calls for the colors to be marched on. And the precision marching begins as the colors march on to the floor.
To the colors! Salute!
parade now will be turned over to the Padre, Padre Ivan Nahachewsky.
The parade will now be turned over to Padre Ivan Nahachewsky.
I invite all who are able to stand to do so for the singing of our national anthem. I invite you to sit down, please. Welcome. Bienvenue. Tansei. We gather here on Treaty 6 territory and homeland of the Métis. I am Padre Ivan Nahachewsky, and it is my honor and privilege to welcome you all. Your Honor, Kevin Waugh, Government of Canada, Premier Scott Moe, Government of Saskatchewan, our Mayor, Charlie Clark, City of Saskatoon, Lieutenant Colonel Thomas MYKYTIUK, all veterans, all serving members of the Canadian Armed Forces, our spiritual leaders, cadets, Scouts Canada, RCMP, police officers, corrections officers, firefighters, musicians, announcers, all you who have joined us today, and those who are joining us via Shaw Cable Television. The multi-faith reality of our Canadian population is evident in the diversity of the soldiers of the Canadian Armed Forces. It is also reflected in the growing population of our city, Saskatoon. This tapestry of cultures and beliefs must therefore be supported by its spiritual care providers. We, the chaplains and faith leaders who are running this service, are trying to make everyone feel welcome and comfortable. Feel free to join us in prayer, in meditation, in reflection, or in respectful silence as your beliefs allow. On this day, we honor those who served and those who died in order that we in Canada might live in freedom and peace. Let us also be mindful and pray for peace among all nations and all peoples. Let us be aware that this is an active peace, a peace that requires work, the work of you and of me. It truly begins with each of us as we secure peace in our own families and with our neighbors, both near and far. First on the program, we will sing a traditional hymn, It was selected because it recognizes each of the three military elements: Air, Army, and Navy. Feel free to sing along as the Salvation Army Band leads us in God of Our Fathers. My next task is to help you recognize the veterans and the servicemen and women who are here today. Looking at the parade square, you see them lined up and responsive to commands. But there are others here too, those who chose not to be on the parade square. Some in the stands are obvious, while others are present for their own reasons, wish to be anonymous, and this we respect as well. In addition, I would like you to consider who are the spouses and the primary caregivers of those people. I wish to invite all veterans, military members, along with their significant others, to stand or to wave and to be acknowledged. We thank you for who you are and what you do. Please be seated. I now invite Laura Guignac to read sacred scripture from the book of Micah. Laura is the daughter of the recently deceased Donald MacDonald. The organizing committee of this event expresses our thanks to you for his previous contributions as chairman of this committee, and we offer condolences to you and to your family.
In days to come, the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established as the highest of the mountains, and shall be raised up above the hills. People shall stream to it, and many nations shall come and say, "Come, let us go up the mountain of the Lord, to the house of God of Jacob, that he may teach us his ways, and that we may walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth instruction, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. He shall judge between many peoples and shall arbitrate between strong nations far away. They shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more. But they shall all sit under their own vines and under their own fig trees, and no one shall make them afraid, for the mouth of the Lord of hosts has spoken.
And now I present Reverend Canon Colin Clay, a Korean War veteran, to recite Let There Be Peace on Earth.
Thank you. Let There Be Peace on Earth, lyrics by Cy Miller and Jill Jackson. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our Father, brothers all are we. Let me walk with my brother in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow, to take each moment and live each moment with peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. And now I'm going to invite all of you who know the words to join with me as we sing together the last verse. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our Father, brothers all are we. Let me walk with my brother in perfect harmony. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Please rise for the act of remembrance. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. Please be seated. I invite Rabbi Claudio Jordakovsky to lead us in a prayer for our country, the nations, and world leaders.
Our God and God of our ancestors, grant to our country the will and the ability to fulfill its calling to justice, liberty, and equality. May each of us fulfill our responsibilities of citizenship with care, generosity, and gratitude, ever conscious of the extraordinary blessing of freedom, ever mindful of our duties to one another. Bless those who labor on behalf of us all. May they find the strength and courage to complete their task and fulfill their dreams. May our judges, elected leaders, armed forces, and all who hold public office exercise their responsibilities with wisdom, fairness, and justice for all. Fill them with love and kindness. Bless and protect them, that they may walk with integrity on the path of peace and righteousness. We ask your blessing for those who guide the destinies of the nations of the world, so that an end may come to boasting and vainglory, and the reign of arrogance dwindle in our time. Give the leaders of all nations the courage to speak the truth and the humility to listen. Help us all to put the good of our fellow human beings above our own ambitions, and so may we stand upright, freed from the burden of fear and the weight of suspicion, learning to trust each other. Fill us with the gift of love and courage, that we may create a world that reflects your glory. May we each respond to the charge of your prophet, for what does love demand of you, but to act justly, to love kindness, and to walk humbly with your God. May the one who brings peace on high bring peace and prosperity to all our world. And let us say, Amen.
I now invite Mushum, Mike Morris, to lead us in prayer for world peace.
Good afternoon. How are you? How is everybody? I guess I'll start off with a prayer about what our people are soon. A lot are needed, but a lot they survive. Utawi mantung gawin story. So miktap to sino. Oyo pumayo si sino tanus kaskino tanan. MYKYTIUK, tumagano, MYKYTIUK, and Creator of all things. We praise you, we thank you for everything, and please help them all, help everybody up in this world, including everybody that you see here, anybody else, thank you very much. God bless you all.
Thank you, Elder. We'll get Nancy to take you off. Nancy's right here.
Thank you. Should we walk together?
I now invite Imam Ilyas Sidiot to lead us in prayer in recognition of world's suffering.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most kind, the most merciful. O most kind and most generous and most merciful Allah, shower your choicest blessings and peace on all of the people in the world. Most specifically, O God Almighty and the most kind and most merciful Allah, shower your blessings and protect us all who have assembled here today to remember those who have sacrificed. We remember them and their sacrifice, and we pray for peace for all of us and for those who sacrifice for the country. May God keep this country, Canada, safe. May God keep the citizen of Saskatoon safe and protected, and may He guide us all to straight path. I would end with the prayer in Arabic. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
I now turn the program over to the Civilian Committee consisting of the Legions and the Anavets members, and now we will have the wreaths which will be laid at the cenotaph.
Earlier during that act of remembrance, you saw Aaron VOPNI. He was the bugler. And the bugle that he used today was a World War I bugle. So the committee had found out a couple of weeks ago that it had access to an actual World War I bugle. And they approached Aaron VOPNI and asked if he would be willing to play that. He's under a lot of pressure to do that. And he agreed and has been practicing on it for the last number of weeks, and was able to do a stellar job with a World War I bugle.
From World War I. And Lieutenant VOPNI practiced intensely.
We are going to be turning the service over to Steve Shannon, who is the announcer here at the facility, as we get set for the wreath-laying portion of the ceremony. So many individuals, organizations, and associations that are involved through the wreath laying.
Laid on behalf of the Silver Cross family at a Captain Kevin Nasty Naismith was killed May 26, 2003 when his CF-18 crashed during the exercise Maple Leaf Flag. He was a pilot at 416 Tactical Fighter Squadron in Cold Lake, Alberta. He is survived by his wife Belinda and children Adam, Adam's wife Kaylin, Arena, and Halsey. Representing the Government of Canada, Kevin Waugh, Member of Parliament for Saskatoon Grasswood. Senator David MYKYTIUK. Representing the province of Saskatchewan, Premier Scott Moe. Veterans Affairs Canada, Annette Jaeb. Representing the City of Saskatoon, Mayor Charlie Clark. Representing the rural municipality of Corman Park, Reeve Judy Harwood. Representing the Remembrance Committee, Brent Wigness. Royal Canadian Legion Saskatchewan Provincial Command Zone Commander Wayne Goldsworthy. Provincial Command Army, Navy, and Air Force Veterans Alf Christensen. Saskatoon Branch number 63, Royal Canadian Legion, Glenn Toomer. Dr. Harold Anderson, Memorial Branch, TVS 78, Royal Canadian Legion, Colin Paul. Lieutenant Branch number 362, Royal Canadian Legion, Connie Hill. Saskatoon Unit 38, Army, Navy, and Air Force Veterans, Jim Eaton. Maple Leaf Unit 287, Army, Navy, and Air Force Veterans, Janet Bennett. Wreaths are also being laid today in the Embassy of Belgium in Ottawa, Paul Van Poel. Consulate of the Kingdom of the Netherlands, Peter Van Riel. Member of Parliament, Saskatoon University, Brad Trost. HMCS Unicorn, Saskatoon. North Saskatchewan Regiment. Wreaths also being laid today on behalf of the Last Post Fund. Ladies Auxiliary to the Saskatoon Unit number 38, Army, Navy, and Air Force Veterans. RCAF 602 LYNX Wing Association. Royal Canadian Mounted Police, Saskatoon District. Saskatoon City Police Services. And Saskatoon Fire and Protective Services. Veterans Village and Sherbrooke Community Center. Army Cadet League of Canada. Military Institute of Saskatoon. Military Family Resource Center. Korea Veterans Association. United Nations Peacekeepers. Royal Regina Rifles Association. Royal Winnipeg Rifles. North Saskatchewan Regiment Association. Ancient Roaring and Raucous Orders of Armistitions. RCMP Veterans Association. Saskatchewan First Nations Veterans Association. Veterans UN NATO Canada. Canadian Legion of Riders Saskatoon. Canadian Fallen Heroes Foundation. Canada Remembers Air Show. Commissionaires North Saskatchewan Division. Canadian Borders Service Agency, Correctional Services of Canada, Canadian Blood Service, Medivy Ambulance West, Saskatoon Search and Rescue, Stars Ambulance Service, Saskatchewan Air Ambulance, St. John Council for Saskatchewan Incorporated, Métis Nation of Saskatchewan, MLA Paul Merriman Sutherland, MLA Ken Cheveldayoff, Willow Grove, MLA Gordon Wyand, Saskatoon Northwest, MLA Ryan Miley, Mewasin, MLA David Forbes, Saskatoon Center, MLA Vicky Mowat, Saskatoon Fairview, MLA Don Morgan, Saskatoon Southeast, MLA Corey Tucker, Saskatoon Eastview, MLA David Buckingham, Westview, MLA Eric Olawson, University. Wreaths also being laid today in memory of the Wyant family grandfathers. In memory of Sergeant Leo Gephardy. In memory of Leo Rabachinsky. On behalf of military widows and families. On behalf of Canadian war brides. Sasktel Center. University of Saskatchewan Board of Directors and Governors on behalf of the academic and administrative units. University of Saskatchewan Faculty Association. Saskatchewan Polytechnic. Saskatchewan Polytechnic Faculty Association. Saskatchewan Polytechnic Schools of Nursing and Health Sciences. Greater Saskatoon Catholic Schools. Saskatoon Public Schools Board of Education. Riversdale Business Improvement District. Greater Saskatoon Chamber of Commerce. Downtown Business Improvement District. Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat Community. Congregation Agudas Israel. B'nai B'rith. Congregation Shir Kadash. Catholic Women's League of Canada. Roman Catholic Diocese of Saskatoon. Salvation Army Temple. St. John's Cathedral Anglican Church Women. Ukrainian Catholic Brotherhood of Canada, Bishop Roboriki Branch 304. Ukrainian Orthodox Church of All Saints. Holy Trinity Ukrainian Orthodox Church. Ukrainian Self-Reliance Association. Ukrainian Women's Association of Canada. Aloha Kabalinsky Branch. Canadian Federation of University Women, Saskatoon Branch. Civil Air Search and Rescue Association. Girl Guides of Saskatoon. Grand Lodge of Saskatchewan Ancient and Free Accepted Masons, District Number 5. Wreaths are also being laid today by Job's Daughters, Saskatoon Knights of Columbus Chapter. Saskatoon Shrine Club number 2, Masonic Temple number 1. Order of the Eastern Star, Regal number 132. Order of the Eastern Star, Chapter 4. Wreaths also being laid today from the Kinsman Clubs of Saskatoon, Lung Association of Saskatchewan, Netherlands Canada Society, Saskatoon K40 Club, Saskatoon Lions Clubs, Saskatoon Rotary Clubs, Riverside Optimist Club, Hub City Optimist Club, Saskatoon Optimist Club, Saskatoon Kiwanis Clubs, Saskatoon Elks Lodge number 12, Saskatoon Royal Purple number 46, Beta Sigma Phi, Retina Chapter, Scouts Canada, Sons of Norway, Spinal Cord Injury, Sask, War Amps Operation Legacy, Health Sciences Association of Saskatchewan, National Association of Federal Retirees, Saskatoon Branch, Wreaths are also being laid today for the Saskatoon City Police Association, Saskatoon Fire and Protective Services, Local Number 80, Saskatoon Paramedic Association, IAFF Local 3270, Union of Canadian Correctional Officers, Amalgamated Transit, Local Union 615, Canadian Union of Postal Workers 825, 824, CUPE 8443, CUPE number 59, and CUPE number 1975. Wreaths also being laid today from CUPE number 3761, Sun. International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 529. International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 319. Plumbers and Pipe Fitters, Local 179. Public Service Alliance of Canada, SGEU, Local 1102. SEIU West. Saskatchewan Union of Nurses. Superannuated Teachers of Saskatchewan. Teamsters Canadian Rail Conference Division 793. United Steelworkers Local 7552. Association of Professional Engineers and Geoscientists of Saskatchewan. Acadia McCaig Funeral Home. Hillcrest Funeral Home. Hillcrest Memorial Gardens. Morning Glory Funeral Services. Park Funeral Chapel. Saskatoon Funeral Home. Preston Park Retirement Residence. Professional Institute of Public Service of Canada. Saskatchewan Medical Association. St. Paul's Hospital. Western Development Museum. Expert Hearing and Wall Street Market Mall. University of Saskatchewan Union, Students Union. U of S Alumni Association. Number 328, Medical Cadet Corps. Number 702, Air Cadet Squadron. Number 107, Spitfire Squadron, Air Cadets. 2293, North Saskatchewan Army Cadet Corps. 3071, North Saskatchewan Army Cadet Corps. Jarvis Bay Sea Cadets. Navy League Cadets, Corps HMWEIR. Ladies and gentlemen, as there are many students in our audience today, the organizing committee, veterans, would like to thank the school systems in Saskatoon for holding their own special Remembrance Day services this past week and are appreciative of their recognition of Remembrance Day. there is anyone else that wishes to lay a wreath, now would be the opportunity to do so. Thank you.
Now, on the Jumbotron, the Saskatoon Chamber Singers will lead us in mindfulness as they perform in Flanders Fields. Please stand as the Salvation Army Band leads us in our final hymn, O God, our help in ages past. This will be followed by the dismissal conducted by Lieutenant Navy Nancy Buttinger.
No one goes to war alone. As we thank our serving members and all of our veterans, may we also thank all of our families who help us serve. As we leave this place that we made special together, we made it spiritual through our prayers, through our reflections, through our meditations. May we leave in peace. May we leave in peace to extend this peace to the many that we meet. Amen. Please remain standing for God Save Our Queen.
Padre NAHACHEWSKY will now turn the parade back over to Parade Commander Lieutenant Colonel MYKYTIUK. And at that point, we will have the march off under Lieutenant Colonel MYKYTIUK.
As we recognize the 100th anniversary of the armistice of World War I, the salute from the reviewing party today will be three special people.
So there is a salute as every year, those who, as they say, taking the salute. And this year, because we are, of course, recognizing the 100th anniversary of the end of World War I, our military are here to take the salute. And being helped onto the platform right now are the three who are taking that salute. And they include Private Alan Scott. Private Alan Scott is the oldest member of this particular group that are taking the salute. He was born February 26th, 1925 in Aylesbury here in Saskatchewan. And in 1944, he joined the Army and was sent to Maple Creek for basic training. Then a paratrooper wanted sign caught his attention, and off he went to Shiloh, Manitoba for 5 months. And upon completion of his paratrooper training, Private Alan Scott joined the Canadian Paratroop Corps. He was sent home for a 2-week embarkment when the news arrived that the war had ended. But as an act of caution, he was still sent to Port Alberni base camp on the west coast, where he remained until any threats of a possible invasion had subsided. Once this war was over, though, Alan remained in the Army and was deployed to various locations until he was discharged in 1946. Alan returned home and took over the family farm where he and his wife Helen raised 5 children. Private Alan Scott. Also there on the stand is Colonel Malcolm Young, retired Malcolm Young CD. In April of 2018, Colonel Malcolm Young had completed 33 years of service in the Canadian Armed Forces. He's a veteran of the Afghanistan War. Colonel Young is the former commanding officer of both the North Saskatchewan Regiment here in Saskatoon and the Royal Regina Rifles. And during his career, he participated in numerous domestic deployments here in Canada, such as Operation Peregrine of the BC fires in 2003, and Operation Lentus, which provided flood relief in Manitoba. He's also participated in numerous Arctic sovereignty deployments throughout the North. Colonel Young is proud to take the salute today, representing the thousands of soldiers from Saskatchewan who have served in the Canadian Army. And then representing the Navy, taking the salute today, is HMCS Unicorn Commanding Officer, Lieutenant Commander Matthew Dalzell. Lieutenant Commander Matthew Dalzell joined the Royal Canadian Navy in HMCS Unicorn in 1992, and he undertook training as a maritime surface officer, serving on both the Atlantic and Pacific coasts. In 1997, he reclassified to personnel administration, subsequently to logistics when the two branches merged. Lieutenant Commander Dalzell served as Unicorn's executive officer from July of 2011 to July of 2014. But before that, he held a variety of divisional and staff roles in Unicorn, including serving as the ship's full-time training and operations officer from 01 to 04. That was while he was also instructing a Canadian Forces Fleet School in Quebec. And from 2008 to 2011, he served as Western Pacific Regional Director for the Naval Reserve. In 2010, the organization responsible for the Naval Reserve's commemoration of the Royal Canadian Navy's centennial. In 2006, he was awarded the Saskatchewan Centennial Medal by the province. He was appointed an honorary aide-de-camp to the Lieutenant Governor of Saskatchewan in 2007. He received the Queen's Diamond Jubilee Medal in 2012, and he is also an honorary member of 406 Squadron, Royal Canadian Air Force. Lieutenant Commander Matthew Dalzell. The colors will be the first to march off.
Pipes and drums will lead off the Old Guard. Veterans of World War II.
Slow up, sir.
Korean veterans, and Afghanistan veterans, members of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police Old Guard, ladies and gentlemen, the Old Guard. the Saskatoon Tri-Services Cadet Band, marching off the New Guard. Our current serving Canadian Forces units, which have taken over from the old guard in defense of our country. HMCS Unicorn.
Break. Intersection of units. Eyes. Right.
The North Saskatchewan Regiment.
Break. Intersection of units. Eyes. Right.
th Service Battalion, joined by 16 Field Ambulance. Members of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Federal Correctional Services. Provincial Correctional Services. Saskatoon Police Services. Saskatoon Fire Department. Menifee Health Services West. Jarvis Bay Royal Canadian Sea Cadet Corps. .328 Royal Canadian Army Medical Cadet Corps. Also being marched off, 2293 North Saskatchewan Regiment Army Cadet Corps. 3071 North Saskatchewan Regiment Army Cadet Corps. 107 Spitfire Royal Canadian Air Cadets. .702 LYNX Wing Royal Canadian Air Cadet Squadron. WEIR Navy League. Saskatoon and District Freemasons. Saskatoon Shriners. And Knights of Columbus. Following the parade, the North Saskatchewan Regiment Pipes and Drums will be having a concert on the parade floor, and you're welcome to stay.
And of course, the last to leave the floor will be the Cenotaph Guard once again. Cenotaph Guard under Sergeant Michael Wong. They have been protecting that cenotaph throughout this service. Many people who are here, probably 8,000 people. Of course, as they always say, Saskatoon has the largest indoor Remembrance Day service across Canada. And it showed true again today on this long weekend. And the thousands of people here at the facility today are going to get an opportunity to see a short concert by the North Saskatchewan Regiment Pipes and Drums. As they do, they come back out in the middle of the floor. As we see the Cenotaph Guard leave under loud applause from the crowd. Also here today, but they were unable to participate in the parade because there's just not enough room on the floor. The Boy Scouts of Canada were here and are more than willing to participate, and we thank them for that. Also, special thanks to RBC for sponsoring the buses for the veterans and the cadets to get them here as well. So a big thanks to RBC for that, and to the organizers of this Remembrance Day service. And we thank you as well for tuning in for the 87th anniversary of Saskatoon's Remembrance Day service, honoring the 100th anniversary of the armistice that ended World War I. I'm David Curtin on behalf of the crew here at Shaw TV. Thank you for joining us for the Remembrance Day service here in Saskatoon.